Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our ranking tiers here on the Echelon Cycling Podcast. Apologies for the bit of a mess we've had in the last few weeks with episodes, but it should be better soon. But yeah, we're here. We're going to be ranking the teams of the Tour de France. And as always, I'm joined by Patrick Blake of Outdo Cycling and Mr. Kruger himself, Ewan Wilson, both of whom are going to be at the Tour in the first week. But yeah, the teams, they've pretty much all been announced to some extent. And yeah, Ewan, what is the rules of tier listing if people are new and
So we're judging them based off of their own riders, their own capabilities, and what we think they can do in terms of their success at the Tour de France. Beginning at the bottom for the teams with the lowest amount of pizzazz, they go into why are they even here? Mid is where the most average teams sit. Above that, we have Not Quite Lutsenko. Alexei Lutsenko, of course, honored character on the Echelon Cycling podcast, somewhat of a demigod. If we could start a religion based on him as our deity, we would. Then finally at the top, it is legendary. That's for essentially UAE Team Emirates and other teams quite on their level, which might be very few at this year's Tour de France.
I mean, elephant in the room for anyone listening to the audio or the podcast. We are actually all wearing cycling kit. Ewan in the Tony Martin Jumbo Visma jersey. Oh no. Well, yeah, no. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But
And
yes, it
then
is. It's from when he was German champion. Niche bit of Ewan Wilson interest. The German flag is, in fact, my favorite flag in the world. Do not read into that too deeply. Just a big fan of the way the colors look.
Patrick Akea Samsic, of course, because that has a big connection to Yorkshire.
It does because Connor Swift used to ride for it. Obviously,
Oh, okay,
there
fair
you go.
enough.
I can create a link.
And I'm wearing this Millie bike because they have a new kit, so it's fine. It's okay to wear a kit if it's not being used. Anyways, we might as well start this ranking with Alpecin de Koenig, the winners of the green jersey last year, Mathieu van der Poel, the world champion, of course, and Jasper Philipsen also looking to replicate the success last year. Where are you guys going to put this? They did very well last year, but do you think they're going to be doing better?
This is a tricky one, I think, because I think they lie somewhere between mid and not quite Lutsenko. Personally, but I'm leaning more towards not quite Lutsenko just because it does have some massive names like Philipsen and Van der Poel. A lot of their riders aren't probably going to get utilised that much, like Laurence or Gianni Vermeersch or Søren Krauw. I'm not sure how much they'll do, but in theory, this is a very strong team on paper.
I agree. I think Van der Poel, Philipsen, they're two huge stars. We can't overlook them. And it's not quite as strong as last year, I don't think. They're missing a couple engines there, Ramon Sinkeldam in particular. He was quite vital in the lead-outs. But, I mean, Søren Kragh, Tour de France stage winner, Delia second in Roubaix, Vaudemey, also really excited to see Axel Laurence start the Tour de France for the first time in his career. Also, they have a new jersey. Thank you, Alpecin de Koenig, for bringing less blue. This one is to honor the fact that Alpecin now have a new shampoo to fight grey hairs. That is a wonderful piece of cycling branding capitalism.
Anyway, speaking of capitalism, Lidl Trek. Mads Pilsen, he had a very strong spring this year, and yeah, I think he's trying to get the green jersey. He has said his big goal this year is the Olympics and Paris-Roubaix, but well, he's still got the podium, but it didn't quite happen. They've also got new boy. No, they haven't got Theo Gegenhardt. I must have missed that. Oh, I thought Theo Gegenhardt was going. Never
He's
mind.
ill. He's ill, and his recovery is taking longer than expected. So he is actually being cut out of the team last minute, sadly.
So what do we think? They won the polka dot jersey last year with Ciccone.
Yeah, yeah, I can't see them like Alpecin. They're a bit between mid and not quite Lutsenko, but Chiccone's here and Pedersen's here. They're kind of their two star names. I'd be surprised if they left this race without a stage win. Like, I think they are a very good squad. I just think that outside of Ciccone and Pedersen, everyone's really like a support rider, maybe Schoins, but I'm struggling between mid and not quite Lutsenko. I'm kind of hoping you guys will sway the vote.
I'm also in
Mid
a similar
seems harsh.
position.
Mid
Yeah,
seems harsh, no?
a little bit. It's still Mads Pedersen, reliable. Jesper Stuyven, once again, reliable. And Ciccone, reliable. But it's missing that kind of upper echelon. I think mid just because, okay, Pedersen's good. He's not the best sprinter in the peloton. Ciccone is good. He's not the best breakaway guy in the peloton. Stuyven is a good rouleur, but he's not the best rouleur. I think just they're in between mid and not quite Lutsenko, very much so. The dictionary definition thereof.
I mean, upper echelon should have been our category for that. But
I
yeah,
know that was an open goal and we missed it. Sorry, and call us the England national football team, but yeah.
oops. Intermarché Wanty, obviously coming with the two African stars of Louis Meintjes and Binyam Girmay. Gilbert Tyson as well, who has taken a number of wins this year. It's kind of the same squad that we've been used to for a number of Grand Tours now. Yeah, Binyam Girmay not having a great Giro d'Italia, crashing out obviously, but did have a top three on one of the stages. Yeah, I kind of want to say mid. They are hunting for that. I kind of want to say mid. They still are hunting for that elusive stage win.
I am going to jump on the mid bandwagon. I fear that this Saint-Marche team has too many cooks in the kitchen in terms of sprinting. You've got Binyam Girmay, you've got Herbe and Hugo Page. Three guys who could all top 10 a Tour de France sprint. Which one do they choose on a given day? Don't quite know. If it's a lumpier profile, of course you go for Binyam Girmay, but Girmay's also proved that he can sprint quite well on pure flat days. Then you have the whole battle with who's going to go for the sprint, Girmay or Teyssa. And then Hugo Page is a wonderful young rider with a lot of talent who's bursting through. Apart from that, in the mountains, Zimmermann not quite as strong as last year. Kobe Hosens, once again, not as good as last year. Meintjes, I mean, he's Meintjes. He'll probably just appear somewhere, but I am really not enthralled by this squad, even if I am a big Herbe fanboy myself.
I was gonna say meh, to be honest. To go against the grain, their mountain kind of bit of their team isn't very good, and their sprinting probably isn't gonna win too much either. Like it'll be, they might crack a top five, but I mean, so I was gonna say mid, but obviously you two said. Well, I said I was gonna say meh, but you two said mid, so I guess we'll balance out with mid.
First disagreement, more to come for sure.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we almost need that mid category to be split into upper mid, lower mid. But anyways, we might as well go to Soudal Quickstep. They're well, I think the most hyped debutant we've had in a very long time. I can't think of a more hyped debutant than maybe Philippe Gilbert. Well, in a long time. Remco Evenepoel, obviously, world time trial champion, winner of the Vuelta a España in 2022. The team very centered around him. Landissimo is here as well, so maybe he could make the podium. Who knows? But yeah, what do you think of the team? I'm gonna say not quite Lutsenko.
I understand where that sentiment is from.
You don't like
Evenepoel,
Remco?
I
Landa,
don't have
what more do you
I
want
don't
in a
have
team?
I don't have
Jan
faith in
Hurt.
Remco. I know here it's great top 10 at the Giro. Landa looked very, very underwhelming recently at the Tour de France warm-up races. Ilan van Wilder, I mean, Dylan van Wilder, he's competing against Matteo Jorgensen and Joao Almeida. He's not on that level. Yves Lampart has the pace and his decent rouleurs. Then you have the racist Jamie Moscon. I mean, on paper, you should really say this is not quite Lutsenko, but it's not lighting my fire. I think Evenepoel's going to finish maximum sixth place in GC.
I can see what you mean. I think what this team misses is
Patrick, see
a
the light.
sprinter.
Please see the light. See the light.
I,
Don't go into
I,
the murky waters of Ewan.
no, I think this team is missing a sprinter. Like if they had Milier here with a little bit of just like two or three lead out men, this would be a not quite Lutsenko. This would be absolutely not quite Lutsenko. It's all focused around Evenepoel, and he could win stages, but overall his GC is probably not that likely. He just seems to have a ability to capitulate, but could go on about this forever. I mean, I do think it's between mid and not quite Lutsenko, but I'm trying to compare it to where Alpecin and where we put Alpecin. And I think that because Evenepoel is such an A-lister name, I think I'm going to have to say not quite Lutsenko. I think that Remco brings more to the race in terms of like the weighting of the name rather than Pedersen in Lidl Trek. So I can't put Evenepoel's team in the same bit as Intermarché.
And then Ewan laughs at us all and says, I told you so in the ranking after the tour.
But that's actually a really good point. I think we can't really in the right minds have Antomarché and Soudal on the same level. Also, apparently, according to the official Tour de France roadbook, Soudal will be changing their jersey before the race. To what extent, I don't know. But apparently that's going to be happening.
Ooh.
Speaking of
Nice.
AG2R decathlon, we weren't really, but sure, there's not really any link. Yeah, what do you think of these guys? They're winning the Col de la Loze stage, obviously. Felix Gall, Sam Bennett here as well. Nance Peters, former stage winner as well. They've got the French
This,
national champion.
yeah, this team is categorically mid. And It is. Gal is maybe going to finish top 10. Bennett's a good sprinter, but he's not going to be. He might compete for like a podium. Lepeda's cool, like French national champ, but I think it's got a lot of good riders, but nothing's standing out to me as like a massive name who's going to be kind of spearheading this team.
That name is Bruno Amirai. I think he is the best chance for this team to get a stage. I'm sorry, Felix Gal, top 10. You were a one tour wonder. It's not going to quite be on the same level this year. Um, Dorian Godon, it's not Romandy. And Bennett, it's not 2020. So Bruno Amirai, prove me right and get a stage win. But I mean, once again, I can't in the right mind put them anywhere above mid. So mid is the ceiling, and we are pushing it there.
I mean, maybe this is our first meh. I guess I'm sick. Headline Anna Demar and Kevin Vauclain.
Yeah, put it in mid immediately, Scott. This team, okay, it does have some good talent. Arnaud Demar, Tour de France stage winner, Giro, Mala Ciclamino 2 times over. Kevin Vauclain's been looking decent, was good at the French national championships and also in some stage races this year. Not quite in the same level as last year. And I mean, I just don't know how he's going to go at a Grand Tour setting. Rodriguez is okay. Mozzato, second place at Ronda, but not done much otherwise after the spring. And apart from that, the team kind of falls off in terms of momentum. So Met seems like a very, very rightful place for them to be. I do not think they're going to be winning their first Tour de France stage this year.
Yeah, I just feel I'm like this is the team which my kind of which my top is representing. So I think if every single one of these riders was at like the top of their game, this could be a mid team. Like if we had the Demar and Vauquelin, and like if everybody here was on absolute top form, like the best version of these riders that you've seen in the past, it would be a mid team. But they're not in that form, so therefore they're meh.
Such a scathing review. If everyone was at top form, they'd still be mid. Like that's really the pinnacle of our KSM.
Yeah.
Movistar. They are actually, I didn't realize that Gaviria was down on the list, but he was in the Giro d'Italia and his best result there was fourth. So with arguably better sprinters in the field, not quite sure about that one. But obviously they're putting the weight behind Oya Loscano, not the Spanish national champion anymore, sadly. And also Enric Mas, who crashed out on stage one last year. So, I mean,
They do have the new Spanish champion, Alex Aramburu. Let's not forget.
Okay, fine, yeah.
But Aramburu doesn't win Grand Tour stages. We've been over this. Like we've been on that hype train. It's gone past. Gaviria, I mean, how many Tour de France sprints can he lead out from 400 meters to go? That's the question. Don't quite think he's going to get that win following up from 2018, where he took 2 wins in the first week of racing there. And Enric Mas, I mean, he is, I think, pretty nailed on for a lower rank top 10, which is, I would say, pretty good for Movistar given their current roster. Is that, am I underselling them there?
Yeah, but we don't care about their current roster. What is it in relation to everyone else? I would say either meh or mid.
I mean, we put Decathlon in mid, and they're probably not going to get a top 10 in GC. Movistar are more likely to get that, but Movistar, I don't think will get a stage win.
Yeah,
insert Vinokurov quote.
Yeah, I think this team is mid. Yeah, for the same reason, like it's on a similar level to Decathlon. They've got a rider who can definitely finish in the top 10, like Gal versus Mass, although I would say Mass is better. And then they've got a lot of good riders who could win from breakaway settings. You know, Decathlon's got Lepeda and Amarai. Movistar have got Lazcano and Arambaru, and you know, I think they're much of a muchness. They don't have enough to boost them into the not quite Lutsenko tier. So Movistar is mid.
Anyways, now coming to a team that's changed their kit and seemingly changed their lineup as well. Visma Lease Bike winning all the Grand Tours last year. This year has been, yeah, night and day. And Sadly, Sepp Kuss is no longer on the list anymore. Jonas Winkel, we know, recovering from injury. Well, we're not recovering from injury as well. Yeah. What do you guys think? Tratnik is doing this after doing the Giro, so that was quite interesting. But Bart Lemon, we've spoken about Bart Lemon before on the podcast. Yeah. What do you think of the team of Jumbo-Visma, what they're sending? And oh, not Jumbo-Visma, Visma Lisa Bike, and where they wish they were Jumbo-Visma.
It's like they've changed sponsors and they've become a different team almost. But it's just a lot of bad luck they've had during the spring. Out the Brooks, out of the Giro, Coy out of the Giro, Van Aert crashing, Vingegaard crashing, of course, and Tish Benoit in a recent interview saying he wouldn't bet any money on Vingegaard making the podium. Pretty wild thing to say about your teammates, but part of me thinks Vingegaard can still win this. I still think in the final 3 days of racing, I think he could flip it. I seem to be alone in this prediction, but the team is not as strong as last year. It's
10
definitely
minutes
still
down.
strong.
10 minutes down on Pogacar in the last week, and you still think he can flip it?
Maybe not 10 minutes down, but is it really going to be 10 minutes down? This isn't the Giro d'Italia. But looking at Visma's squad, Matteo Jorgensen is going to be hugely important, even more now with the absence of Sepp Kuss. You still have Wilco Kelderman up there to help. A bit underwhelming recently, but he's still Wilco Kelderman, can still be a great engine. He's finished on the Giro podium. Bart Lemon, who's been looking good all year long with top 10s in UCI World Tour stage races. Tratnik, Van Aert, Benoit, Laporte, all decent rouleurs who can also climb. Laporte looked pretty rough at the Giro, but I'm hoping he's now bounced back in time for the Tour de France. I'm going to say it's not quite Lutsenko. It's not quite enough to be legendary. They're missing Kuss. They're missing that extra sort of shabao, if you get what I mean. But putting it in mid is criminal.
Yeah, they definitely can't go in mid. I was contemplating legendary, but I'm thinking of obviously teams to come and having them on the same level. And I do agree. I think there's just something missing from this team. Maybe it is Seppi, like GC Kuss, maybe that's it. But yeah, I just can't quite put them in legendary. But at the same time, are they on the same level as like Alpecin? You know, it's hard to say. But I think you're right. I'm gonna say not quite Lutsenko as well.
Right, Groupama FDJ. Obviously, David Gaudu was underwhelming last year after that great Paris-Nice. They've got the Luxembourg champion, well, again, Kevin Gignac. And then I think one of the best riders that nobody really talks about, Lenny Martinez, has had an absolutely incredible year so far. Romain Gregoire, you guys like him. So this seemingly mostly French team, how do you think they're going to fare, and where are you going to put them in the ranking? I'm going to say, is it Lutsenko? That seems, it's not mid. Wait, what? I thought you
I
guys
would say it is
oh,
mid.
It's mid.
I would say
oh,
it's very, very mid.
that's a
Okay,
shame.
Martinez wasn't supposed to start the Tour de France. He's been drafted in the last minute. A little bit worried about that one. The team seems to be panicking a little bit. Then we also have David Gaudu, he's had COVID and not quite recovered again. Gregoire, who was decent at Dauphiné, but I just don't think he has the punch to outkick anybody in the Tour de France peloton. Stefan Kung has been underwhelming all year round. Madouas, okay, not as good as before. Pache and Rousseau, they're there as rouleurs. This is mid, dare I say, verging on meh.
Ooh, gosh.
I was
wasn't gonna
not
go with
expecting that. I
I
did
wasn't.
not. I thought you were almost going to put them in legendary, but yeah.
No, zero chance. I have been let down by Groupama over the
Ouch.
past couple Tours de France, and I think it's going to continue. When we least expected it in 2022, they delivered. We're not
Mm,
expecting much now, but I don't think they're going to deliver. They're going to be,
Ouch.
it's going to go
Okay.
back to the postal depot.
There goes that
yeah.
postcard from David Gaudu.
I think that this team is mid for me because it's lacking that big spearhead
Wow.
of.
I
Don't you
have
think?
really misjudged you two on this one. Wow.
Because like I think that every rider in this team, well, most of the riders in this team seem like are a good rider. Like they can all get into breakaways and they could all get an okay result, barring maybe a couple of them. But I just think that it's lacking that big name. Like I'm not expecting a big GC result here. I'm not really expecting a stage win. I think that they could definitely crack a top five or a podium from a breakaway, but I can't, in my right mind, put them on the same level as Visma Bike. But I can't also put them on the same level as Arcade. They're ergo mid.
Fair enough. Here we go.
Right.
This is probably going to be what I think. Red Bull, Bora, Hansgrohe. Ewan
I,
smiling
I
already. Vlasov
I'd
and
like to jump in
Roglic.
here. I think I think this is actually a really, really good Grand Tour team, and I think we're overlooking it like greatly overlooking it. It includes some real stars. We have, of course, Roglic leading it, but he's supported by Jai Hindley, winner of the Giro, top 10 last year. Vlasov as well, top 5 in 2022, winner of a bunch of UCI World Tour stage races. Those three worked really well at Dauphiné. Vlasov, in particular, looking good at Paris-Nice as well. Danny Van Poppel, Nico Denz are fantastic rouleurs. I hope that Van Poppel doesn't get a little bit too sort of hungry in the sprints. Then we also have Marco Haller as well to anchor it down. Jungels has decent climbing legs. And of course, my unsung hero of the past couple of years in professional cycling, Matteo Sobrero, who is also climbing really well at the moment and looking good. I would have loved Giovanni Aliotti to make it here after his recent success in Slovenia, but this, for me, is a surprise inclusion into Legendary. I think this is a fantastic Grand Tour squad. If it weren't for UAE, I think this would be the best team in the race.
Nah. I had to process that for a second. I think this is not quite Lutsenko. I don't know.
I'm gonna go
I
with
just
you
think
on
this
that
is this
one.
is this is for me, or it's similar to Visma Bike.
Legendary Ewan.
I think
Yes.
I think the Vlasov missed has descended here. Like it's I think I think it's close, but I can't I don't I'm just thinking of them compared to UE. I just
Oh, come on, we can't just have one team in Legendary.
well, I mean it's that's
Okay, then let's put
yeah.
Arkea there.
How
I'm
many
not putting
Grand Tour
Arcade in.
champions does UAE have riding this Tour de France?
How many what?
How many Grand Tour winners does UAE have at this Tour de France?
Tarapgacha. They don't need more.
One.
One.
How many Tour de France's do Bora have?
Well, I've got Hindley and
That's not the
Roglic.
point I'm going for here. They have two guys who've won Grand Tours. Hindley wore the yellow jersey last year. You know who didn't? Tadej Pogacar. Um, that's irrelevant because Adam Yates wore yellow last year. Anyways, I will live and die by the Bora Red Bull Hansgrohe caffeinated sword. I can't wait to see their new kit. I can't wait to see them
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
bossing everybody else. Matteo Sobrero, breakout rider of the Tour de France. Let's go for it. Please move them up. They can't. We can't just. We look so negative with everybody in those three. We can't just sit on the fence here.
We're not putting Intermarché up there.
That's not fair.
That's
That's not
madness.
fair.
That's absolutely that's ludicrous. Okay, you know what? For the sake of the video, I agree. Like it would look a bit. Everyone knows that UE is probably going to go up there. Like we may as well just spread things out a little bit, you know.
Okay,
Although
so we'll put Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe in
yeah,
legendaries just so
but
someone's up
if
there.
if a kit sucks, I'm moving them down. So it better not do.
But this is all we'll I guess we'll figure it out when we do the ranking afterwards as well. We'll see if they've lived
Yeah,
up to the expectations placed by you and mainly. Well, everyone else as well. Next we come to Israel Premier Tech, and
yeah.
there's no Chris Froome in their team. They have got Jakob Fuglsang, they've got Stephen Williams, who looked incredible, Derek G as well, third place in the Dauphiné. Yeah,
No,
discuss three
it's
Canadians.
mid.
Mid.
It's
Oh,
I
ouch.
think it's mid. or
Actually, it's fair.
but mid borderline meh. It's kind of it's around there. Yeah, Stephen Williams and Derek G are really the headlines of this name, but everybody else, I don't see making too much of an impact on the race. Maybe like Naylands or Hull, like maybe they like Ugo Hull a couple of years ago won that stage. Like, yes, that was extraordinary, and it's possible a rider from his team could do that again. But I just think this is a team spearheaded by G and Williams, and yeah, I just can't put them past. I can't put them above mid.
I agree. I think Williams and G are actually good contenders to win a stage somewhere along the way. But apart from them, like Jake Stewart, why is he here? I'm so flabbergasted by his inclusion. Um, he's had no results this year, out with injury, no signs of upward trajectory in form. It bamboozles me that he's made the start list. And other riders at Israel Premier Tech haven't who've had better seasons. And then Fulsang, what was a good helper at the Dauphiné, offered a lot of expertise to G there. Chris Neylands, he's always up there in the breakaways. I'd love to see him get a stage win. Desperately want that for Latvia. But this team is mid. And now to Jake Alula, who also apparently are changing their kit for the Tour de France.
I hate this change of kits. Anyways, yeah, they have last year's fourth place finisher Simon Yates, Dylan Groenewegen, who won a stage in the Tour of Slovenia, Michael Matthews. It's a very Jaco Euler team.
Yeah, it's hard. I think again it kind of lies between mid and not quite Lutsenko. Like it is a strong team. Like Simon Yates is a bit of an enigma, but Matthews and Groenewegen is a strong partnership in there. Chris Harper is, I think you and I agree, quite underrated. But can I put them on the same level as Visma Isabike? I don't really think I can. So I will say mid, but I'm willing to have it moved to not quite Lutsenko if the argument sways that way.
This one is another case of the upper mid category that we are missing, because Huneveka is still a decent sprinter. Don't quite think he's going to get a stage win, but he's definitely going to be up there in top 5 a couple times. Mesgets, Reinders, Matthews, all good lead out, man. Chris Harper, as you say, criminally underrated, and Simon Yates. He got 4th place last year at the Tour de France, and it's gone completely under the radar. Everyone seems to have collective amnesia and forget about it. But he is still a really consistent. Actually, I cannot in the right mind say he's consistent at Grand Tours because he is a bit hot and cold. But he's quite good at riding the Tour de France. He's come here before, got stage wins. He won the white jersey. I think, God, it's your call. It's your call.
Yeah, I think mid. We need something in the meh, but I'm not putting Jaco Euler in meh. That's harsh.
We can't put Uno X.
Well, so how we got this?
Oh no, that's mean. That's like
This is
betrayal. Like I can't betray the only Scandinavian. Oh, I'm gonna be out.
No, you're gonna
ranked
have
it.
to. No, outside of Magnus Cort Nielsen, what are they doing?
Rasmus Tiller, Christian Odd Eiking, former red jersey wearer,
Yes,
Chris Alexander Christoph,
please.
winner of stages, son, Varenshold, Tobias Halle Johannesson, the biggest talent that Ewan hates in terms of Tour de l'Avenir. Why is he called the most hyped talent that never happened?
That's because look at his results. 10th place in Tour of Slovenia, and people are genuinely saying he's up for a top 10 at the Tour de France. Please develop your frontal lobe. It's just, it's. I just don't get why there's so much hype around Tobias Halle Johannesson, and he's not even.
Let's be honest.
But he's not even that young. He's turning 25 this year. He's like the same age as Pogacar almost. He's older than Evenepoel, and people are still treating him like he's like fresh out of diapers, you know? But I just think that this team is very mid. Rasmus Tiller, you mentioned
mid.
him.
Okay, so it's not a mid then.
Sorry. Matt, push it down. Come on. But I just think like
so
Rasmus Tiller, I have been hyping him up for so long and I've got so little in return. And Christoph at a Tour de France level sprint, No, I just don't see it. He has been sprinting well this year, recently, really well. Bad and short as well has looked good, but I am not seeing any pathway for them to break through, apart from Magnus Court.
Fair enough. The only Dane in the Norwegian team, so I'll take that. EF Education Easy Post. We might wait with that one. We end this one and then start again.
Just have to remember where they are.
No, it's fine. It'll just be
Just restart.
just start the meeting again.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
House and Grand Sasso d'Italia. So I'm climbing up both of those and then flying back.
Fair enough. Wait, how many days in total?
Like 5, 6.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's a nice little holiday, but I am also still working at the weekend. But it is what it is.
I guess it's the Tour de France. It's like
you have to work.
Who's gonna watch it anyway?
Yeah. Anyways, coming to EF Education Easy Post, obviously they'll probably unveil a new kit as well. But yeah, last year bad luck with Richard Carapaz crashing on the first day. And very EF Education Easy Post style team. And obviously Ewan's gonna bang on about Alberto Bettiol being the Italian national champion.
Exactly, that I will. That made my Sunday. That made me so happy. This is the title I've been wanting Bettiol to win for so long. I don't care about sort of winning Paris-Roubaix. I wanted him to become Italian champion, and he's done it, and I'm so proud. And the team, this is my ideal EF Education first team. I'm not gonna lie. Carapaz as leader, Paulus there as a sort of wild card. You got Ben Healy. Oof, 10 out of 10 aura from that man. Just attacking, riding on vibes. It's fantastic to watch. Could be up there for a stage win. Marin Vollenberg as well. Bissiger, Sean Quinn, the new American champion in that beautiful American champions jersey. Costa just won the Portuguese championship, so he's going to have a new jersey as well. Oh, it's going to look fantastic on the podium, but I think it's mid because I'm going to pop my bubble illusion. I'm going to have to sort of step back from my personal allegiances and how much I love this team and their riders, and it doesn't stand out, I don't think. It's fun. It's a really fun team with energy. It's cool. A lot of aura, a lot of cyclism, but it's not. It's mid. I still think.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I did think Alza Scott took a real nosedive towards the end there. That was a proper tease. I agree. Like in terms of vibes and the national champs jerseys they're going to have on show, it's just going to look fantastic. But they don't have a high tier sprinter. They've got Vandenberg here. It's like if this was a tier list based upon breakaway winning capabilities, I feel like EF might be like the winners for it, but it's not. Carapaz has been a little bit off it the last 2 years, so he's not like I don't really think, like, no offense Bettiol, but they don't have like a massive headline name, no matter how much Vogters seems to say that Carapaz can take on the world, seemingly, and take on Jonas and Poggi. It's close, but I think it's mid. It's close to being the tier above, but it misses just a little bit.
Can we move AG2R down to May?
What about Bruno Amarai? I mean, you can make an executive decision. I think, but if you move Decathlon down, you have to move Israel down.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that.
Because they're basically like a very similar style.
Okay, we're more widespread now.
Okay, is that better?
Next, coming to Lotto Destiny and one of our podcast favorites, debuting the Tour de France, Arnaud Delis and co. Arnaud Delis, the big star, I think, here. Okay, Victor Campenaerts. Okay, I know, here we go. This is going to be Patrick talking about Maxime Van Gils.
Because he's literally been carrying this team. Well,
Arnaud Delis?
Van Hills has been the best rider on this team this season. He has been insanely good. He has been. He absolutely has been. In terms of UCI points, I reckon he has been. But this team is meh, sadly, because
Again.
De Lee and Van Hills cannot drag this team high enough. I just look at the other teams and it's like Victor Campanart's getting the breakaway like 3 times last year and getting super combative still haunts me as like the most criminal thing from a tour last year. But like Drisners, Van Moor, Van Oka, Grignard, Cedric Bullen's like it's meh.
Yeah, this team is quite meh. Victor Campenaerts gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know why. And him winning competitivity last year just frustrated me greatly. De Lee, we haven't said newly crowned Belgian champion, beating Jasper Philipsen there. It's going to have, exactly, the bull's going to have major aura. But, I mean, this, apart from him and Van Hills, yeah, it's a bit void. Ineos, Grenadiers, next.
Mid.
Mm,
No,
I'm
I'm
not
kidding.
sure.
I'm kidding.
Ewan's not gonna like this, but this team is legendary.
Legendary.
Be
Mean two.
real. Be real. Be
Well,
It
real.
is.
you
Like,
It
you
is.
started. You were talking about Grand Tours. How many Grand Tours
It is.
have
Yeah,
Bora got? I mean, how many Tour de France titles does Ineos have? They've got both
exactly.
Egan Bernal
But
and Geraint Thomas,
yeah, they've got
I'm
and the
previous world
Giro with
champion.
Egan.
come on. Okay, but
Patrick,
making my top
Patrick,
out this whole.
I will do an alliance here.
I just this team. Honest to God, Rodriguez has got just as much chance of finishing on the podium in this race as Primoz Roglic does. He legit does. He actually does, and it's a legendary team. Don't let the Pidcock, being an annoying person, distract you from what is actually true, which is that this is a very good team. It is, and it's got the Bernal vibe coming back. That's kind of like a good little arc. I think we've got Bora and legendary, and I think that Ineos is on the same level.
You raised a great point about Tom Pidcock, but um,
Is
I mean,
that
Rodriguez is the white jersey winner. Let's just crown him right now. Um, I think he's going to get that one. But really, Ben Turner.
oh, coming for Yorkshire? Uh-oh.
They need somebody to ride on the flat. That's not. It's not a glamorous role.
Well, this is 2 Grand Tours in 1 year, Geraint Thomas. And if we know
True.
anything about 2 Grand Tours in 1 year, Geraint Thomas, that second Grand Tour he falls off quick. Not in terms of actually crashing, in terms of his fitness. I don't think this is going to be a stellar Geraint Thomas performance. That's not to take away from him. He's almost 40 and he rode a great Giro. Um, I just, I mean, Witkowski decent, but hasn't been fantastic this year. But Bernal is decent. The plus is looking good, but I think it's the same level as Visma Spike, but with a more blunt leader. Like Vingegaard is definitely better than Rodriguez, but I think as a whole, this team is quite similar. Yeah, we can put this above Visma. Who's the Wout van Aert in this team? Let's let's just like take a step back.
Ewan has a point. So either Visma goes up to like low legendary or Ineos goes down.
Who's the Wout van Aert of Bora? It's not like Sobrero's not
Danny
that
Van
good.
Poppel.
Oh,
It's
come
not
off
Danny
it.
Van Poppel. If you move Ineos down, Bora has to move down. It disrupts it disrupts the balance. Or you
I would
move
like to
Visma
keep.
up.
Fine, we move Visma up.
Okay.
Visma
I'm
goes
not.
up.
I'm not willing to see Redbull Bora Hansgrohe go down. And
Visma
also,
Visma with
I,
4 hospital patients has been moved up.
for hospital patients and a soldier in the form of Bart Lemon.
Oh yes, sorry, yes, of course.
Um, shall we bring up for potentially the last time in this podcast the Mark Cavendish debate?
Oh God,
Is he
no.
going to win
Oh
that
my God.
stage win? Please, let's give it one last chance, one last breath of hot air before
I
we
think
finally let it go into the sunset.
I think he can do it. I don't think that this sprinting field is that brilliant, in all honesty. I think that there's not loads of like the top tier sprinters. Like Miller's missing, Milan's missing, Koi's missing. All that really needs to happen is Philipsen needs to be out of position once, which I realise is going to be quite hard to do when he's got Van der
But
Poel's lead out. But I think Cav can do it. He just needs something to go right.
Lee beat both Merlier and Jasper Philipsen and Wout van Aert in the same sprint for the National Belgian Championships.
De Lee is quite hot and cold, I think. Sometimes if
And
he's not
Cavendish
there,
isn't.
he's not there. He's like Jakobsen. I mean, of course, Cavendish is like that, but I feel like De Lee, there's more of an unknown aspect as well because it's his first Tour de France. Um, Astana has a better lead out train than De Lee has. Like this, it's a good lead out, much better than last year. Ballerini, Ball, Mirko, Cavendish.
So where do you want
It's
to put
great.
it?
It's mid.
It's mid.
And Lutsenko,
Lutsenko is here, but
Top
Lutsenko
five.
can't save them this time.
top
Yeah.
5.
I also feel like Delete just gets claustrophobia. Like whenever he sprints
Yes.
against more than 10 people, he just like seizes up. Like he was good in the national champs because it's a 1 day race and it was attritional. But when you put him in a field of just like 30 people all bashing elbows, I just feel like that's not his kind of sprint.
I agree with this. I think Deli at sort of higher level stage races has really missed the mark. He's great at 1 day races, great in that attritional format. That could help on some of the hardier days. I think potentially the gravel stage, for instance, he could be right up there. But I, I don't think he's nailed on to beat Jasper Philipsen at a flat sprint. Also, the Belgian nationals had a slight uphill towards the end. That begs the question: why didn't Wout do better? Sorry to bash Wout van Aert when we're not even talking about him.
Oh, he
Cofidis,
he looked gassed, and he was in the saddle. Like
he
that was
did
the
look
white
gassed.
ass gassed look. Like I was European champs, can't get around your own teammate. Gassed.
Cofidis,
Anyway,
like you had said.
Cofidis.
Guillaume Martin, Ryan Coquart, Jan Izagirre. I mean, they took 2 stage wins last year. Are we back to normal Cofidis this year?
We are back to default Cofidis. We are back to no stage wins in the Tour de France, I feel. Victor Lafay is not here anymore. God, I
He's not
hope he
even.
finally comes back to racing at some point because he moved to Decathlon, had a lot of injury, hasn't come back. Coquart, he's never won a Tour de France stage. It's not going to happen. Guillaume Martin, likewise. Maybe the stars align. Maybe he finishes 11th in GC.
But
Jonas Aguirre had his chance last year, and then the rest of this field, Alex Zingler cannot ride a World Tour race. Well, he cannot reach the top 3 of a World Tour race. He's great at these sort of second tier stage races and 1 day classics, but can't do it at a stage race. Alexis Renard, the Fox, I don't believe in him. Geschke had a good Giro, but it's Geschke.
yeah, but at the end of the day, this team does have enough to keep them out of why are they even here. So therefore,
That's
they're
true.
in there.
That's
Like, we do
true.
have names here. Coquard has taken 2 World Tour victories this year, so he's not bad. Like you'll see them. It's just that when you do see them, it probably won't be winning.
I mean, the team that probably should have gone in, why are they even here? I forgot to add them in, Total Energies. So that's how much of an impression they made on me as well. But anyways, Bahrain
No,
victorious.
but that's a good point. Let's go to Total just for a second. Definitely why they're even here. They can't even ride on the wave of having Peter Sagan anymore, or having Nicky Terpstra, or having one of their old stars. They don't have that. All they have is Mathieu Bourgodeau and Steph Kras, and a
And
whole lot of
Turkish.
hope. The year is 2024. Turgis's time has passed,
Ouch.
and I just think that like Steph Kras could get top 15 in GC. Does that warrant anywhere above sort of a lower tier ranking? No. And Bourgodeau, he looked good last year. I don't think he's looking as great this year, so I don't think he's going to get a stage win. Bahrain. Let's move to Bahrain Victorious, the so-called victorious team.
I mean, they were very good last year with wins from Bilbao, from Pools, and even Matej Mohoric. But Yeah, it's almost the same team.
It's a it's a good team.
Yeah,
I mean,
Santiago Buitrago being brought in. I think this is his
yeah,
first Tour de France with Jack Haig. And like you
yeah,
said, Patrick, Fred Wright not going to the national championships in favor of
yeah.
being in high altitude. So
I just something is holding me back. Like we're always quite high on Bahrain victorious. I feel like whenever we come to like recaps of races, like Bahrain's always kind of overachieving. But I don't know. In terms of this team, I think I'm going to go with not quite Lutsenko because I'm just looking at the teams in mid and I don't think it's there. I think that it's got enough quality and it's got quite a lot of strength in depth actually. As this team, like if they lost Boitrago and Bilbao, they'd still have like some decent names to try and get results. So I'm going to go with not quite Lutsenko.
This team should get a stage win. Buitrago and Bilbao are top 10 material or top 15 material. Buitrago could actually probably get a pretty hardy mountain stage win or try to go for the polka dot jersey. And then Phil Bauhaus will do Phil Bauhaus sings and finish top 5 in a couple of sprints. Fred Wright, we don't know where he is, but Matej Mohoric, he'll be in the breakaways. He's Mohoric, he could try to get a win as well along the way. Yeah, I agree. Not quite Lutsenko, but they're also, not quite super team status. Neither are DSM Firmenich Post NL, who are, by
ouch.
the way, bringing the first Scottish rider in 10 years to the Tour de France.
Really, I think DSM. Thing is, again, it's another good team, but it's just I feel like they've been like in terms of like momentum, like the morale just seems a little bit like going down, and you feel like it's a team not up like on the rise. I don't think it's things don't seem to be going their way. But saying that, it's an exciting team with good breakaway potential in the mountains with Bardet and Onley, and I was going to say Barguil, but it's not 2017 anymore. But that Barguil 2017, that was something else. But anyway, then we got Jakobsen for the sprints and a decent lead out train, but Jakobsen's just been plagued by bad luck this year. But I think it's a mid team. Like it's good, but I don't. For me, I don't think it can exceed mid just because the team doesn't seem. I don't know. I don't see them really competing that much for victories. Like it might happen, but I just don't.
It
I'm
should be
not that
higher. Like if
confident.
they were all on form, they
Yeah.
would be higher. But
It's like
yeah, bad
archaic.
luck.
If they were all on form, they would be higher, but they're not.
Yeah, yeah.
I am going to say it's not necessarily bad luck. I just don't think this team is quite at
Crashing.
the level that they want to
What?
be.
Crashing. But what
Um,
about they getting a bad stomach on the first stage?
I mean, I just like Jakobsen, for instance, who's supposed to be their talisman, hasn't finished top 10 in a sprint since the Tour of Turkey. He's not finished in the top 3 of a UCI World Tour sprint this year. Worrying. Also, earlier this month at Belgium Tour, not even a top 10. Um, it's just this marriage between him and DSM is not working. Niels Eckhoff for the lead out. Maybe he'll get a top 10 with Welton, but I just don't see it. Barguil Bardet, the year is not 2016. Bardet could potentially get a top 15 in GC, but I think just with this new generation popping through, I think it's going to be hard for him to stand out. Also, just he hasn't had the legs this year, I don't think, in the breakaways. I'm actually not biased. I think Oscar Onley could be their best shot at a breakaway win because he
Yeah,
rode really, really well at Tour de Suisse. He's been on good form all year. He's already won a UCL World Tour stage this year. He is the only one on that team to have won a UCI World Tour stage this year, and I think he's got a decent chance in the breakaway. But I don't expect to see DSM Firmenich above. Actually, you know what? I want to put them in Meh. I want to put them in Meh because I think their results have been poor
oh,
this year.
Scott, what do you think? Make me.
I don't want to put them in there. That seems harsh. Because this
I
is
don't
them
think they're
throwing.
good. Yeah, but then this is also Uno X are throwing everything at it,
Yeah, but
and
they're throwing the three of the same riders in the same position.
But DSM Firmenich is sending just sort
I
of.
guess Patrick, you decide mid or meh.
Can't put them in the same bit as Cofidis because I think they are
Yeah,
better than
yes, you
Cofidis.
can. Yes, you can. Look at the
I,
UCI World Tour rankings this year.
but I think that this team is more. It's got more about it than Cofidis does. I do think they've got a better chance of succeeding than Cofidis do. They've got a similar level of chance of succeeding as Astana do, or Groupama, I think. So I think mid.
Anyways, now coming to the final team, UAE Team Emirates. Why are they even here?
This isn't. Well, yeah, this is an easy one.
Mm.
Why be even here? Because you may as well just give the victory to Poggi anyway.
Yeah, I mean, what was it we were saying? One of the best teams we've ever seen on a starter line.
It literally is. It's ridiculously good, isn't it? Like there's pretty much every rider on this team. If you were to put them into a different low-level team, they would be a leader on that team. Like even Pollitt, they would rally around to try and do something for a breakaway victory. Velens, Soler, Sivakov, Adam Yates, Joe Almeida, Ayuso and Pogacar. Like it's stupidly good. It's it's unfair. It's like being 10 years into your pro cycling manager career and you've just accumulated all the best talent and you just decided to whack them all into one race. Yeah, it has to be legendary.
Best Grand Tour team I've seen in my lifetime. Easily legendary. It's just really good. I can't add any nuance that nobody else has given already.
Literally, we've spoken about it so much. It is the best. It was actually it's the easiest decision that we've made in this video so far, I think.
And Total.
And Total, yes, probably. Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, with that, that's basically it for this ranking video slash podcast. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel here on the Echelon Cycling Podcast, and we'll be back maybe next week or the week after, as it is the tour, so it's going to be very busy for everyone. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.